Remember in the Navy, we used to have these things called safety stand downs, and it'd be an array of different topics. Man, they would talk to you about like during the holidays. Don't try not to spend the holidays alone because I don't know if you know in the military you're gonna spend some holidays, some birthdays away from your family, things like that. Safety type stuff like if you deep frying a turkey and watch how many lights you put on your Christmas tree. You don't want to burn your house down, so they'll have like a firefighter come in and talk to you about that stuff. Just financial stuff. They'll have a financial specialist come and talk to you about certain things. But the ones that always hit home was the ones that went through like domestic violence or anybody that was facing any type of addiction. And anytime they ever had like somebody that overcame alcoholism come, man, it was uncomfortable. It was, man. And I would be acting like I wasn't paying attention, and we would leave there. And because I was struggling with that stuff at the time, I would kind of like fill out the cats that I was around. Like, man, that's crazy what that person was going through, right? Just to kind of see what, whoever I was around, how they felt about that. That's when I knew it was time to change because I was just going through all these different, steps in order just to, hide it more. But I know that that's what these posts do for people. That's why some people are uncomfortable with them. And that's why, I'll catch, a lot of pushback from people, man. But it's never about the likes. On certain platforms, I get no likes. It's about the views. It's about when people reach out, right? Like, for whatever reason, some people, not a lot, think that I'm somebody that might have some type of knowledge about something. And because I'm an open book, they'll ask. Like this dude, I know him. I'm not going to say who it was. Like I said, I don't put people on social media unless I'm authorized to do so. I've been out the military for 6 years. I still use words like authorized. So he asked me, hey man, this was yesterday. You ever had sciatica? Yep. I can tell you what I did to get rid of sciatica. So it's like that with school, finances, things like that. People will ask. But when I talk about things like alcoholism and stuff like that, I understand that it makes people uncomfortable because we struggle with things. We do. That's why I always urge people, man, when you get to that point, you got to be willing to seek help. Seriously, you have to be willing to seek help. I did. Like, I saw a therapist when I came back from Afghanistan. Like, things just weren't right up here. So I went and saw somebody, talked to them about some stuff. I just was always agitated, and they helped out. But with everything, with how if you're struggling with how you're eating, alcohol, bath salts, like the safety stand down people, like people was doing stuff with Tide Pods, man. That's how, seek some help because there is a very fine line between you having the wherewithal to know something is bad and not to do it again and an addiction. I told somebody last month because, he's struggling with how he's eating. I said, bro, like, those specialists that help people with their relationship with food, I'm all for it. Because some of us just don't realize how addicted we are to some of these foods. Like if I walk down an alley, right? I walk down that alley and then I get robbed and I get beat up. There's a strong possibility I'm not ever gonna walk down that alley again. I don't care. I don't care if, there's a light in that alley now. I got beat up in there. I'm not doing it again. That's how it was with my health. I'm not gonna drink again. And I'm not just gonna put all that weight on it again. I was 300 pounds. I've been down the alley. I got beat up. It's like that. If you touch an oven or a pot on the oven and it's hot, you're gonna burn your hand. I'm not touching it, right? I've been through that. But addiction is that alley, man. If that alley got something you want down there, food, alcohol, Wi-Fi, so you can scroll your phone, you willing to take your chances and walking down that alley knowing that you might get beat up. That's addiction. And that's powerful because it can take a hold of your soul and you got to try to find ways to resolve it. And that's what a lot of us do. I see people now, it's not just specific people, but we try to use social media to be our accountability partners. And if that works, cool. But I think the dangers behind that is the lies. somebody gonna lie to you. You got people that will lie and not tell you the truth because they love you. And on the other side of you got people that'll lie and they'll tell you whatever you want to hear because they hate you. At the end of the day, it's lies. So searching for accountability partners is one thing. I always tell people my why will not be your why. You know what I'm saying? Like, I talked to somebody, he got offended because he was like, hey man, how were you able to get it to stick? The not drinking, the eating bad. I said, my son, before he, stepped foot or he debuted on this earth, I wasn't gonna be drinking no more. I don't care what I had to do to stop drinking, but I wasn't gonna drink anymore, and I wasn't gonna be 300 pounds. And instantly he was like, what you trying to say? Because he got kids. My why ain't gonna be your why. You know what I'm saying? And plus the levels of addiction are different. We got different mindsets, different experiences. I think I was on my last leg. Like I tell people, man, when I was married at the time and I knew I needed to stop because my son's mom was pregnant, I was in the Navy and I would take leave from work, but I didn't tell my son's mom. So I was leaving the house in uniform, going to AA meetings. And those meetings was crazy because it was people where I was going. It was like up north, Laguna Niguel and all that stuff. And you was hearing people with all this money that was doing the same stuff I was doing. That's how I felt in them safety stand downs. So I had to change, man. And me personally, I live by the old adage that you look good, you feel good. You feel good, you do good. It's about quality of life for me, especially now as I get older. I got a laundry list of injuries. So I gotta be able to get up, get it done. At the very least, the working out, the not drinking, the eating right, it helps me up here, man. It does. And a lot of people don't know that because they don't connect the two. Because working out is uncomfortable. But like alcohol and crap food, man, I say it all the time. Those are two things that we know. We know it's not good for us. We know it's wiping people out. Heart disease and all that other stuff. And we will look somebody right in the eye and ask them why they not doing it. Why you not eating? Why you on the diet, man? And people get so caught up in their own stuff and they get uncomfortable around people. Because when it comes to fitness, whether you believe it or not, people get offended by your fitness if you stick to it. Because you are holding up a mirror, supposedly telling somebody, this is what you need to do. This is how you need to be. When it ain't like that. For me, I ain't trying to be 300 pounds no more. I ain't trying to be on cholesterol medication in my 20s anymore, man. I ain't trying to drink that sauce no more because there was nothing good that came with it. Every bad decision or most of them that I made in life, alcohol was on it. And that is one of the things, just like eating bad, it's a social norm. Alcohol is so crazy if you really think about it. It is so crazy that we will warn people when we know we shouldn't be warning them when it comes to alcohol. You ever see on Facebook somebody, hey man, that's an alcohol checkpoint over there on this street. So you know they're gonna be out there drinking and driving that could possibly kill somebody? Or are you just warning them because the Uber driver might be drunk? You know what I'm saying? So if it gets to the point to where you're struggling with it, try to find a way to seek some help, man. Like those things are dangerous. I've never done recreational drugs like that, man. Yeah, a little, right when I graduated high school, but like they're so dangerous because like alcohol and food are like right there in the middle. It's at the core of everything, and everything just kind of bouncing off of it. When you want to celebrate, you got some good news. You probably gonna have a drink. You gonna eat, something bad to celebrate. When life is tough and you got to find a way to cope, alcohol and crap food, it ain't got to move. It just depends on the personality or the mindset or the experiences of the person, how they gonna use that. That's why I hate the saying, man, like when it comes to fitness, man, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. No, it ain't. Because a marathon is 26 miles. Some people running a marathon in 3 hours, man. What happens after the 26 miles, after the 3 hours? Then what? It's not a sprint, it's forever. Because you're going to have to adjust. As you get older, man, you get stagnant. You get injuries that you kind of got to work around. Or some of them, I got injuries that I'm just stuck with. I'm not letting nobody cut into me and make things worse. You got work challenges. You got stuff man, the fire here at the border 2 has been contained. But at one point, I'm like, man, I'm about lose my job and my home. But I still was getting up, even though mentally I'm like, oh man, just it's over. Just you just it is what it is. You got all this stuff happening to where you just gotta keep going. And you gotta get up and you gotta do that every day. Most days you don't feel like it. Most days. But I got a kid. He's 12 years old. And I need to be able to tell him certain things and there won't be no pushback. He might not like everything, but he's been seeing me do this since he's been on this earth. He's been seeing me be a student. He's never going to see a drink in my hand. I can promise myself and him that. And that's no shade on nobody else or what anybody else is doing. That's just me. And that's what keeps me going. Happy Monday.